Syrian government troops have launched a ground offensive in eastern Ghouta, witnesses said, clashing with rebel forces hours after the UN Security Council unanimously passed a resolution calling for a 3-day ceasefire across Syria. Witnesses told NBC News that within minutes of the resolution being passed on Saturday, warplanes were targeting residential neighborhoods in the region, where civilians sheltered in basements. Syrian civil defense workers, known as the White Helmets, said Sunday that there had been renewed aerial and artillery bombardment of most of the cities and towns of East Ghouta. They reported on Twitter that 2 civilians had been killed in the cities of Sakbar and Hamouria, while many others had been injured. NBC News could not verify the reports. The London-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said warplanes hit the town of Shifuniya in the rebel enclave. Nur Adam, who is 500 meters from the front line near Damascus, told NBC News that many people in his neighborhood were hiding underground. The basements are full of children and women, he said, adding that he could hear the clashes between the Syrian army and rebel fighters. Witnesses said that hospitals were full, while one doctor, Abu Zaya, who is in eastern Ghouta, told NBC News 2 medical centers had been hit in airstrikes on Sunday. Saturday's Security Council resolution followed 7 days of airstrikes and shelling by the Syrian government and its allies, in what has been one of the fiercest air assaults of the 7-year war, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Several previous ceasefires have unraveled quickly in Syria, where government forces have gained the upper hand with the help of key allies Iran and Russia. The leaders of Germany and France urged Russian President Vladimir Putin in a telephone call to put maximum pressure on the Syrian government to stop fighting in eastern Ghouta, a German government spokesman said on Sunday. Chancellor Angela Merkel and President Emmanuel Macron made clear that a ceasefire was the basis for progress towards a political solution in the framework of the UN-led Geneva peace process, the German spokesman said. Russia's foreign ministry said Sunday that it was counting on foreign supporters of anti-government forces in Syria to ensure that the ceasefire was observed. A Syrian man walks next to damaged buildings following regime airstrikes in the Syrian rebel-held town of Douma, in the besieged eastern Ghouta region on the outskirts of the capital Damascus, February 25, 2018. Hamza Alajwehafp Getty Images. We count upon foreign patrons of anti-government militant groups to ensure that their charges stop combat activities in the interests of the quickest and safe transit of humanitarian convoys, the ministry said on its website. Inji Sedki, a spokesperson for the International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC, said it appeared to be relatively calm across Damascus compared with recent days, but that airplanes could be heard overhead. Sedki said the ICRC were currently unable to dare aid to eastern Ghouta due to security concerns, and it was still unclear when they would be able to launch an aid convoy. While the ceasefire is a positive step, what is more important for us now is to obtain the necessary security guarantees from all sides who are fighting in eastern Ghouta in order to be able to proceed and dare aid. It is very hard to know when this can happen, she told NBC News. Meanwhile, Pope Francis denounced the inhuman violence in Syria Sunday, backing the ceasefire so that food and medicine can reach desperate Syrians and the sick and wounded can be evacuated. Francis led thousands of people in St. Peter's Square in praying for an immediate end to hostilities. The month of February has been one of the most violent in 7 years of conflict. Thousands of civilian victims, children, women and the elderly, hospitals have been hit, people can't get food. All this is inhuman, he said, adding, "You can't fight evil with evil."